So, hello, good morning. Um, I'm a bit late, but no one's watching anyway, so I don't think anyone misses these sessions in this timing in the morning. Because it seems that not a timing for many people to watch it live, but that's okay. That's perfectly fine as well. Good morning on day 53. Um, the weather outside here in Holland is beautiful, shiny, blue sky, and it actually confirms my session today. And if we want to make it really, really simple, this journey, and to open up to a different level of frequency, to a different level of life, to feeling differently in life, then we really have to start thinking and opening up to the fact that it's all just vibrations, not just, but it's all vibrations. So we really have to think and approach things in life and see it as it's all energy. Because if you stay stuck in the fact that it's all fixed and unchangeable, and that you are limited at where you are right now, because it is like this, and reality is like this, and I've had this experience, so it is like this, then you get stuck there. Then you can't change. But vibrations change easily, and not fast. It's not the same as easy. So because we're still so caught up in our linear thinking, we expect everything to happen immediately, because that's what our mind is thinking. So if I do this now, I expect result tomorrow, or I expect result the next minute. And we have to let go of that wanting to have result at a certain time. Because the more you want it, the less it happens. It's not about wanting, because wanting has a lack in it. So just first going back to these vibrations, everything you feel is a vibration. And it's up to you to choose whether you like that vibration and hold on to it, or whether you don't like the vibration, and see what you can do in that moment. And literally it's no doing at all, it's just being with it, but see if it's really necessary at that moment to do something with it, in the sense of that you really have to look at this limiting belief, or look at this old experience, or look. It's not necessary every moment to just go back to that, but your mind and your thoughts might pull you back there more often than you like. So choose consciously when you like to work with it. If it really pulls you down, like I explained in that circle of creation. So if you feel happy and then the next day you feel pulled down, and you try to just be okay with that lower frequency and don't give it too much attention, and focus on a higher frequency again, on a higher vibration, then sometimes it does not work, and you have to really sit with that lower frequency. But most of the time, it's just a distraction. And then you get caught up in that lower frequency without any necessity to it at that moment. So try to be very precise, or very, very conscious, make a conscious choice where to focus on. And if you focus on releasing a limiting belief or a lack belief, and sit with it, then do that also very consciously, and take time for it, and take a meditation time, or sit with it in contemplation, and be with it, and open your heart, and all the process that I explained before. But if it just comes up because you got a little trigger of something, and then just make a choice whether you like to go with that story, or just think, no, it's just a lower vibration. I choose not to go with that vibration. I go back into my higher vibration. I'll focus on something that feels good. I literally focus on feeling better in this moment. and I go back to the state I was a couple of hours ago. Because if you go back faster, the frequency that feels so much better that you were hours before is more easy to get back to. But if you linger on in your thoughts that pull you down, it's more difficult to get back to that high frequency. It takes longer. And the other thing I would like to point out is just be very conscious when you feel good. Because we talk a lot about the times when we don't feel good. But can you become conscious of when you feel good? And be really happy with that. Be really okay with that. Be content with that. Not okay, but be really aware that you're okay now. I feel good. That feels nice. How does that feel actually? Sensing your body. Why do I feel nice now? Why does it feel okay this moment? Or these hours, or spending time with a person? Well, how does it actually feel? Try to find signals in your body, sensations in your body that you can relate to feelings that feel good and feel bad. So you know if you want to switch back to a higher frequency, which is a better feeling, then you know how to tap into your body to get that feeling again. So you literally just look for the higher frequencies so you can pull yourself back up in that higher frequency. Because otherwise in this journey, especially when you are in this journey, it's so easy just to be only focused on the negative things because you want to release it. So I get it. And I've been there. And it's you really want to, you're so driven now to change things. But the risk is that it constantly pulls you down and that you're too caught up in it. And as this mind is so strong with its stories and its narratives, you might easily create actually a bigger story out of it than it initially was. So for me, it really helps, and I shared that in that first session when I talked about the fact that everything is energy. That just opened up a complete new perspective on reality to me. Because a vibration can be changed to another vibration. It's just universal law. There's nothing fussy about that. It's just a fact. A fact proven by science. That's how nature works, how the universe works. And if you start thinking in vibration, so in energy and frequencies, then that's exactly how life is shown back to you. So that's the core and base law of the universe. It reacts on vibration. It doesn't react on thoughts. What reacts on the result of a thought, that's a negative vibration. But it reacts solely on vibration. It doesn't react on the narrative, but I deserve to have a better life. It doesn't react on that. Then it reacts on the lack belief that I deserve a better life is actually a lower frequency. So what do you end up with a life with a lower frequency than you actually thought or believe you deserve? Because it resonates only on frequency. So the frequency, the vibration of frequency, doesn't really matter which word you use. The vibration you exude, so the vibration you radiate into this world, is what you reflect. What the world reflects, what the world reflects back to you. So be conscious when you are in a lower state for a longer period, that to get out of that state, I mean, sometimes it's functional to release old belief system, but not for a long period, because then life shows you this low frequency, shows you your reality that's still in this low frequency. So your experience are still not positive. Your experience is still like in the same, let's say, lower negative frequency. So if you are hanging too long in the victim role, the victim frequency, it's a very low one, And you keep thinking in lighter terms of lack belief, but it's still a lack belief, and you still feel the victim here. You're still like, um, you can't help it. It's done by someone else. You still give your power away there in that low frequency. Then life keeps confirming you that you are the victim, because that's a frequency you send out. So you get that back. So you get only confirmation. You see, I'm still a victim. You see, I'm still a victim. You see, this is happening to me. You see, nothing is changing. I don't deserve this. I think everyone gets it, but I don't get it. So, and this is, of course, an example which is really on the lowest frequency. But even if you are a little bit higher, and you think I'm quite okay, and it's okay, it's good enough, and yeah, I know I have my lack beliefs, but it's okay. But I actually want this. But I actually would love to have this. I want to win this lottery or whatever. I want to have these millions. But this wanting, the frequency of wanting, there is a lack belief underneath. So in that case, you cannot, you're not really embodying that frequency you really like to have, the abundance of money. So you still keep sending out low frequencies, lower frequencies than that what you actually desire. And the reason why I'm saying this, I really want, within 10 or 15 days, so towards the last 20 days or so of this journey, I really want to move you all towards empowerment, because that's actually where life feels more exciting, and where you can actively work with life in a way that you feel you contribute to life, that you feel like, okay, I'm here for a reason, and I can share myself in a good way. And I knew I had that victim role in the past, but that's kind of healed right now, and I can now really fully live. I really love you all to go into that direction. But it's the reason why I have, now what changed me really so much in my journey is that I cannot spend time in my shadows, so in the lower frequencies, forever, because that's just not changing it. I have to do it on the other side. I have to do it on the higher frequency, and focus there and focus there and focus there. And yes, I mean, you've watched me during these days. I still get pulled down when something experiences. But that's okay. That's the flexibility on the right side, the one with presence and in the now. So life will show you what hasn't been resolved yet anyway. So you don't have to focus on it too much now. It will be shown in due time. But if it's shown in the right way at the right moment, it's much more easy to deal with it than trying to figure out everything now and clear the whole, like the backpack, they say, the backpack you carry around with all your low frequencies, all your lack beliefs, all your experiences, all your traumas, that backpack I'm talking about here. If you just keep focusing on emptying that backpack, then life will only show you more of that frequency of that backpack. I hope you understand the metaphor. But so life will only show you more of the frequency of the shadow, the ones that you really want to get rid of. So yes, there is time to work consciously and sit with that pain, that trauma, as a frequency, not as a story, but as a frequency. Okay, where do I sense it in my body? I open up my heart space, I sit with it. I be soft to myself, I surrender to it. That's okay. Or I hold my inner child in my hands, whatever is needed at that moment to soothe you. So just take an hour for that. And if nothing moves, continue with something else. Distract yourself. Get yourself into a higher frequency, or in a neutral frequency, at least, where you feel okay. Go for a walk. Change your body movement. I've just come running because I hadn't been running for so long, and it's so nice. I feel so different. So really get yourself out of these low frequencies by actively work with yourself. I would almost say get these cells moving. Because if you sit all day and sit with that heaviness, it's really, really difficult to shift that heavy energy. I mean, I can even visualize it. It's just difficult. But if I help it a little by just having a nice walk outside, you don't have to run. You can also have a walk where you walk a little bit faster than normal, so you really are energizing yourself, or whatever you like to do, of course. And then that feeling does feel lighter. Then you might say, like, well, then it's not cleared, is it? Well, perhaps it is. Perhaps it partly is. At least it has shifted. And you can repeat that process. The message is only here. Don't linger too long in it. While we're in this state when so much has come up. And we have so much to work on, and we have more clarity on how it actually works for us in our lives, and where I have difficulties in the choices I made. So I know this is all kind of brought to the surface, and now I'm telling you not to do anything with it. It's kind of frustrating, isn't it? But so you're still doing with it, but go to that session with that circle. I think I posted a picture of it. So just see that circle of I'm in creative mood, I'm in creation, I'm in a happy feeling or a good feeling. I feel fine, I feel energized, I like what I'm doing today. I love going that circle. And then you might fall down because someone triggers you. And then it kind of, you narrow down your vision. So you kind of have you only see that trigger and that emotion, you can only feel that, and then it pulls you down. And then stop yourself and be very conscious at that moment. Okay, is this something worth looking at right now? Or can I just put it aside? And if I have to work with it, try to be with it as consciously as possible. Do the process of releasing, which is actually not a process, just being with it, but just opening up to it and surrender to it. Just let it go. It's just a frequency. And then you move into this neutral state. And then you go up easily more in a little bit higher frequency, which feels more energizing. And if it's just a small thing that happens during the day, and you think like, well, this is actually really irrelevant. I can see what happened. I just got triggered. That's okay. That's just an old story. I don't need to deal with it now. And I let go of it. It's just not true. It's just the old little me who's triggered here. It's not true. It's not actual true in this moment that it really hurts me. So let it go. Smile. Don't forget about the inner smile. You know, the Buddha inner smile in your belly. Create that inner smile. Visualize that. It really helps. If I visualize this inner smile, I almost start smiling. So no one sees what you're actually doing. But it relaxes you. But if any one of you has difficulties with grasping the fact that everything is energy, grasping the fact that it's all vibration, then let me know. Then we have to dive a little deeper in that. Perhaps I have to explain it a little bit more, but let me know what you don't get. This is not spiritual method. This is just science. This is just law of nature. This is just literally how nature works. And to me, it's really necessary to see things like that. Otherwise, the sessions like yesterday and the day before about health and healing are so difficult to grasp, because then you get up get caught up in the fact that, but it can't be true, or it will be different, or it is different, or it's shown different in our current system. You have to really approach it from a different perspective. And simply, we are not taught that way because it didn't serve our world. It just didn't serve our evolution to be taught in that way. We had to become first, apparently, from a selfish perspective, from an individual perspective, very wealthy on this planet. And you can see in countries where this wealth has not grown so quickly, that there's still so much more closer working with nature, more natural, working with the language of nature and the healing processes that's offered by nature, than in our society where we're only focused on material stuff and making profits and become better and richer and create life in a material way for ourselves in a better way. So this vibrational thing helps you really to just think in energy, helps you to get you out of the story. It's just another story. Keep telling yourself, it's just another story. It's not a truth right now. It was a truth, or perhaps it was perhaps an experience. You don't even know. Literally, you don't even know actually what happened. You only know how you make the interpretation of that moment. And that's, of course, excluding the really bad events that happened in your life. But most of the remarks that are made to you, or the things that you picked up as negative, they were not true in that moment. It was just an interpretation. So at least try to let go of those ones, the little ones. And like I said before, for the heavier traumas, you probably and most likely need more help, or you are so strict with yourself that you choose not to give it energy anymore. And be very strict and pull yourself out of that when you get caught back in your old trauma. Pull yourself out of it. Pull yourself out of it. Get into the now. Get into the now. What is actually happening right now? I know I'm fearful because of what happened in the past, but what is actually happening right now? How true is it still that I'm still threatened here? And breathe. Use your breathing to relax, to deepen. Breathe consciously. Breathe deeply. So vibrations, vibration, vibration. Think in energy, think in frequencies. It's just frequencies. And the universe reacts to frequencies, but it also reacts very rewardingly to high frequencies. So if you exude for a longer period of time higher frequency, and you can tap in the higher frequencies, you have it already experienced in your life. We all have experienced love. We all have experienced comfort and safety. We all have experienced joy. Not constantly, but we know how it feels. So try to embrace yourself with that frequency. Try to find it with people you know who can give it to you, and literally receive it. Receive the love from the other person that you know who can give it to you, but then get out of your story about wanting something. Just receive purely what is there given to you. Not wanting more of it, or not wanting to be right about your story or about something what happened yesterday. Just sit with a frequency of love. And get as much of these higher frequencies, whatever is whatever words and whatever frequencies are very important to you right now. What you like to have more of, those frequencies, the ones that you really would like to integrate in your life at a more constant basis. Look at those frequencies right now, where you can find them in your life right now. And try to be consciously with those, to be conscious with those frequencies, sorry. Try to open up to it. Try to sense where you feel it in your body. And then amplify it. Make it bigger. If nature does that to you, take long walks in nature and be very consciously present with trees and plants, especially with trees. The tree hugging I used to love. But what was our princess? Irene, I think. She was a tree hugger from our royal family, one generation before. And at that time, it was like this trees, and I couldn't even imagine trees to be part of this same system as I was part in at that time. So I was kind of like this tree, all this tree story, talking to trees, and those kind of made me laugh. But I know, and I've tried it out. It really is very awesome, the energy of a tree. It's really, and you can see the trees who exude very strong energies. Just sit with it. Be conscious with it, especially on days when it's beautiful weather. Be conscious on touching the earth with your bare feet. Get the energy from the earth. It's very nourishing and very empowering. And of course, don't forget, back into the now, back into the now, back into the now, back into the now, every time. This is a time in our period of 99 days where you have to become really, really strict with yourself. So do the practice, go back into the now, and be very serious about what frequency you would like to be in. Be aware of it first. Choose. Deal with it consciously or let it go at that moment. And try to be at least neutral in your frequency, like it's okay. Nothing good, nothing bad. It's just okay. At least get into that frequency as much as possible, but preferably a little bit higher, because it's nice to feel a little bit more energized. Okay, well, this is it for today, and I'll see you back tomorrow. Bye.